The artifact displayed is made of wood. It is 4¼ inches wide by 10¼ inches long and is roughly ¼ inch thick. There is a wooden handle attached in the middle of the long side of the item. On one side, there is a 4-inch wide by 10-inch long piece of leather attached with small metal tacks. Inserted into the leather is hundreds of small wire hooks. On the reverse side from the piece of leather is stamped on the wood, "Only genuine old Whitmore patent improved number 10 cotton," as well as a small marking noting the park's identification artifact number. This item is known as a carding comb and would come as a pair.
Hello and welcome to Kennesaw Mountain National Battlefield Park. My name is Ranger Amanda, and today I am coming to you from the Parks Museum. I'm standing in front of the case that speaks about the various items used in and around the state of Georgia, as well as the city of Atlanta. In this case, we have 2 cannons, some small armed weapons, as well as a sword, a pike, as well as some items that talk about transportation and the railroad, and specifically the carding comb that I have highlighted in the photos prior to me speaking with you today. Now, carding combs have been used for centuries. The first documentation of the use of carding combs was in the 13th century France. These items are used in the production of textiles, and they're really one of the first steps that is used in order to clean wool or cotton in preparation for weaving those items. Now, what's going to happen is the carding combs actually come in a pair, and the individual using them is going to take either cotton or wool and place it in between the 2 paddles of the carding combs, and then pull in opposite directions. They kind of look like a dog brush, so think about if you had 2 dog brushes put together, but you pull them in opposite directions, how it's going to clean those fibers. And it will get out a variety of impurities in order to help in the cleaning process. Now, here in Georgia, especially in antebellum Georgia, cotton was king, and it was one of the largest items produced in the South, especially here in Georgia. Now, in 1860, it's going to be one of the highlights used in the manufacturing in this region. Now, Cobb County itself was established in 1835 and was part of a territory where the Cherokees actually lived before they were removed. Now, in 1835, there was no cotton that was being produced in this county, and there was only a few slaves. And so food was the main important product that people needed because they needed to survive and needed that food. By the 1860s, things are definitely going to be a whole lot different. And you're actually going to see a rise in population within the county, but also in the production of cotton. Now, with cotton, back then, people in antebellum South believed that the only thing they really needed was slave labor in order to manufacture this good. And so by the 1860 Civil War time period, Georgia, especially not Cherokee County, but Cobb County, is going to see an increase in the slave population by 900% from when it was established in 1835. In 1860s, the city of Marietta's population was almost half enslaved, where the county as a whole had roughly 30% of its enslaved population was here. Cobb County had about 14,200 plus people living in the county. That included a variety of individuals from wealthy white slave owners, yeoman farmers who couldn't own slaves, as well as those who were enslaved, and even freed African Americans living in the area. Now, both the housewife of a yeoman farmer as well as slaves living on small farmsteads are going to be using carding combs in order to help with the textile mill industry here in the home front. And so when people lived and manufactured their own textiles at home, that was known as homespun, and it was a coarse type of fabric where they could use for a variety of clothes that they would sew and make into shirts, pants, dresses, coats, a variety of items. Now in 1860, the carding comb here in Georgia only cost about 50 cents a pair, so not that much. But because of Union blockades, that price rose incredibly high to $80 per pair of carding combs. So the whole production during the Civil War was greatly impacted due to war as well as Union blockades, different things of that nature. Now, even at that time, there was mass industry of the textile industry, which was seen in Roswell, Georgia, where you had a variety of textile mills that helped manufacture textiles and clothing production for the Confederate soldier. However, of course, that would change when Sherman would actually come through the city of Roswell and take over those mills and ship out the women and children that worked in those factories to prisoner of war camps in the North. Now, we still use carding combs today. A lot of people who use the carding combs themselves is either for a hobby when they do homespuns as well nowadays. Maybe a small business uses them to manufacture goods as well. And of course, the large-scale textile industry that's going to use large machines that do the exact same thing as those carding combs, but on a grand scale. So they are still around today being used throughout the country and the world in order to manufacture goods and textiles throughout the entire planet. I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about textiles here within Cobb County, as well as the population and enslaved peoples, and specifically the carding comb that is on display here at Kennesaw Mountain National Battlefield Park. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope to see you again next time. Take care.